A new study by one of my favorite economists finds Americans lost $2.5 trillion in retirement savings under the Biden-Harris administration. This is despite a stock market rally as the pandemic went away. The reason, of course, is galloping inflation that hit a 40-year high, which gutted those stock returns in real inflation-adjusted terms, as well as savaging bonds. Together, the carnage added 6 extra years of work to the average would-be retiree, according to the study by E.J. Antoni for the Committee to Unleash Prosperity. Now, in recent videos, I've mentioned retired people going back to work and near retirees delaying retirement. Losing $2.5 trillion will do that to you. Now, in raw numbers, the average 401K balance rose in the 3.5 years of Biden-Harris by 11,000, but once you account for inflation, that comes to a drop in purchasing power of 12,000, which is nearly 10% of retirement assets. Bonds, meanwhile, were absolutely slaughtered by the Fed's rate hikes, the most extreme since the 1970s. That wiped out a bunch of banks last year, you may recall, which were rescued with taxpayer money, but it also wiped out millions of Americans' retirement accounts, which, alas, were not rescued with taxpayer money. Now, bonds typically make up about a third of retirement accounts, and it's even higher for older people who are trying to live off the coupons, the interest. Multiply that across over 100 million workers, and it comes to $2.5 trillion in retirement savings evaporated. Of course, that's all assuming official inflation numbers are telling the truth. I recently published a study also with EJ for Brownstone Institute, estimating the Biden-Harris inflation was roughly double what they reported. That would mean even more trillions in lost purchasing power. Note, this is all separate from the $9 trillion Biden-Harris added to the national debt, which is about a third of all the debt we incurred between 1789 and Joe Biden's inauguration. Tally it up, and it comes to $55,000 per person that you paid to have Joe and Kamala try their hand at running our country. I know it was worth every penny. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com, whose Bitcoin IRAs did not go down under Biden-Harris. What's next is eroding retirement savings and rising national debt are increasingly forcing our hand as a people and as a nation. As a people, they're forcing us to work longer, to unretire, to take on second jobs or jobs we hate just to survive. A recent survey by Nationwide found 40% of Americans are either delaying or abandoning their retirement plans in the face of chronic inflation. Meanwhile, on the national level, debt is driving interest payments to the point interest on past debt is now the single largest category of federal spending at $1.1 trillion and rising fast. Now, $1.1 trillion is almost what we spend on Social Security, and it crowds out spending on everything, including Social Security. As EJ points out, if our debt service is rising faster than national income, it leads to a runaway process where we're borrowing trillions to service yesterday's trillions with new trillions on top of that. The answer, of course, is very simple. Either slash government spending by trillions, grow the economy by trillions, say by abolishing the income tax, or watch it burn. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.